Blasphemy. Now we've reached the section on shirk. The author says, shirk or ishraq, which is translated here as paganism or polytheism or idol worshiper or idol worship. Idol worship also has another name, idolatry. Idolatry. Shirk or ishraq is to worship someone other than Allah, or to worship someone with Allah, or to ascribe the attributes of Allah to other than Him, and vice versa, to ascribe the attributes of other than Allah to Allah. All of that is shirk. The Thanawiyah dualists said there are two gods. The Christians said three. So we started here because we want to build on the information. We're going to talk about shirk, then we're going to talk about the worship of other than Allah. And why do we start here, by the way? Shirk, yani, if we look at our navigation plane here, we got into the section on blasphemy, and we read all of what we read about categories of blasphemy, status of blasphemer, excuses from blasphemy, and then the first title we get to here is shirk. Why shirk is the first title after the main title? Because this is the blasphemy that's mentioned in the Quran and the Sunnah the most. This is the blasphemy that the monotheism targets to eradicate it. Shirk is to worship someone other than Allah, or to worship someone with Allah, or to ascribe the attributes of Allah to someone else, and vice versa. The Thanawiyah, so we're going to start with those who worship two. They said there are two gods. And then we go on to those who worship three. The Christians said three. But they didn't say three gods. They said three personalities for God. So they believe God has a personality. In fact, more than one. What do they call that? Schizophrenia? When you, and according to their claim, someone goes between, at one moment, he thinks he's a ballerina, and then another moment, he thinks he's a fireman. Then another moment, thinks it's just a little baby. You know, some people, they claim that some people have sickness like this. So the Christians, they say God has three personalities, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Allah said about shirk. So Allah Ta'ala said about the shirk, وَإِذْ قَالَ لُقْمَانُ لِابْنِهِ وَهُوَ يَعِظُهُ يَا بُنَيَّ لَا تُشْرِكْ بِاللَّهِ إِنَّ الشِّرْكَ لَظُلْمٌ عَظِيمٌ. And when Luqman said to his son while advising him, while lecturing him, he said to his son while lecturing him, Ya bunay, oh my son, oh my beloved son, La tushrik billah, do not commit shirk, do not associate partners with God. Inna shirka la zulmun azim. Surely, associating partners with God is a great injustice. So any dad, inshallah, is going to take an advice here, is going to take a lesson here. Allah told us in the Quran here how Luqman was lecturing his son. And this is not the only thing he told his son here. He gave his son a lot of good advice. Told him about not walking through the street arrogantly. He taught him about not putting food on top of food. Don't eat after you're already full. He told him many good advices. What's first advice he gave him? Told him, do not associate partners with Allah. The greatest right of Allah upon His slaves is for them to recognize His oneness and not to give partners to Him. When someone worships other than Allah, then he has violated God's greatest right over him. It is not the case that the human being has a choice of who he should worship. That's not true. He's going to worship a man, he's going to worship a cow, He's going to worship a fire. That's not permissible. Does not have a choice to do that. And that's going to be very harmful for him in the afterlife. Whoever practices shirk is a mushrik, a pagan, or polytheist. Yani anyone who worships other than Allah is mushrik. But sometimes in the Quran, the word mushrik is used to refer to the idol worshippers in particular. But mushrik is broader than idol worshipper. Because mushrik includes fire worshipper, sun worshipper, devil worshipper. Anyone who worships someone other than God, they're all in the same pot. A Jesus worshiper, he's there too. Or anyone else who worships something, a Buddha worshiper, cow worshiper, all of those are in the same pot, worshiping other than God. Among the pagans are those who worship idols with varying shapes. With varying shapes, including funny faces. They worship idols, they would carve the idols and give them googly eyes and give them big buck teeth. And they would worship those things. And some people would worship men, like Pharaoh. Also, who's another man who was worshipped? Nimrod, the king at the time of Abraham. And some people worship beauty. They worship beauty. They are Hululiya. Hululiya is a group of people. It's a kind, it's a belief. Different religions have people of Hulul. Hulul is when someone believes that God is dwelling inside of something. Some people believe God is inside of them, in their own bodies. And some people believe that God is in anything beautiful. So when someone believes that God is inside of something, that means when someone believes that God is dwelling in something, then he's called hululi. Someone who believes in dwelling, meaning he believes that God dwells within some vessel. A lot of times when someone's like that, he won't get out of there. He won't come out of there. If you told him, no, God is not in you, he's going to say, no, he's in me. Tell him, your blood is in you. Your feces is in you. Your urine is in you. God is not there. He's not like those things. They're going to insist, unless Allah guides them. Some people worship the sun. Notice here, worshipped has one P here, and on the very next line has two P's. I'll remind you the way the book is that anything that is considered correct, academically correct, then deem it correct in this book, despite the inconsistency. One thing that is deemed the academic standard is to choose one way and then be like that consistently. So any academic standard in English is going to say, spell it one way or the other way. Don't spell it both ways. But in this book, I didn't commit to doing that. Anything that's valid in English, American English, British English, Australian English, if it has any way of academic standard of being correct, then khalas, just go with it. And the Quran is like that because the Quran has different Arabic dialects. It's mostly one dialect, but it does have in it other dialects. And the Prophet ﷺ, sometimes he spoke to some Arabs in their own dialect. So anyway, some people, they worship the sun, and some worship the moon and the stars. And some people worship specific stars. And some people worship the devil. And some people worship cows. And some people worship the angels. And they said that the angels were the daughters of God. Okay, we have a footnote here. The Christians said there are three. Here's a footnote. The Christians believe that God is something that exists by himself, while at the same time being made of three individual selves. That three different matters form the reality of one God that exists by himself without being created by someone. So that's what they understand. So that's why they're going to say there's only one God. Then you're going to tell them, but you said there's Father and Holy Ghost and Son. You're going to say, yes. Yeah, and they're saying, yeah. So what? That's three. That's not one. They say, no, it's just one God. He has three personalities. They call this belief the Trinity. And in Arabic, it's called taflith, tripling. Allah says, قَالُوا إِنَّ اللَّهَ ثَالِثُ ثَلَاثَةٍ. They said, Allah is certainly the third of three. They said God is the third of three. So that's shirk. Some of them say that this Trinity is like water, ice, and steam, that they are three while being one at the same time. That's poor. It's poor analogy. It is impossible that three different matters would be a single self. If the water freezes, it would not be vapor, nor would it be liquid. So it's not the same thing. It's not water, ice, and steam. When water freezes, it's not steam and it's not liquid. And if the ice melts, then it won't be solid anymore. It's going to be a liquid and it won't be a vapor. And then if the steam liquefied, then it would not be vapor anymore. And nor would it be solid unless it freezes. So that's poor analogy to say Trinity is like ice and water and steam. But when somebody wants something, he's going to justify it at any cost he wants to justify it. The Christians also believe that Allah has merged with man. What they understand from this merger is that one thing became the other. That the eternal attribute of Allah became the created body of Jesus. And they believe the eternal attribute of God became the created body of Jesus, and vice versa. That the created body of Jesus became the eternal attribute of God. But if two different matters unified, then this mistake here. If two different matters unify, they are no longer two. Once you say they unified means they became one. If two different matters unify, they are no longer two. They became one. That's what unify means. Well, that's what they are saying. But they are still two different ones. I'm going to remove this sentence here. They are two different ones in reality. Because they're going to say Jesus is the Son and God is the Father. It's not possible for the Father to be the Son. That's impossible to the sound mind. So that means if the Father is going to be his own Father, and the Son is going to be his own Son. And because the Father is the Son, and the Son is the Father, this irrational. Then it means also that the Son gave birth to his Father. Since the Father is the Son, and the Son is the Father, then that would mean that the Son came before the Father. Yani. And the Father came after the Son, etc. Yani, you can pull it apart so many different ways. This refutation here, I don't like it. If they say that one lost its reality to the other, then there is no unification of anything. Some of them said that this unity is similar to the light that radiates from the sun. All right. Okay. Some of them said that this unity is similar to the light that radiates from the sun. They say that just as the light of the sun reaches us without the sun going away, and without the sun losing its ability to shine, the eternal attribute of God is merged with the body of Jesus, without either of them losing their own reality. That's crazy. That's crazy talk. This is invalid because the light of the sun, it separates from the sun. This is far from the unification of which they speak. Some of them said that this mixture is similar to the soul and the body. But the soul, Yani, they say it's like the soul and the body. Yani, what's the big problem here? In order to explain Trinity, they're going to keep telling you, it's like. So what do we say? God is not like anything. They shouldn't even be trying to say what it's like. And nothing they say is going to make sense, because 3 and 1 are not the same. No matter what, all they're trying to tell you is why 3 and 1 are the same, why it works here, how it makes sense. It will never, ever make sense. There is no example you can give that makes 3 and 1 being the same make sense. So someone's going to let someone else gaslight him. He's going to gaslight himself. Or it's just going to stay there because that's how he was raised. even though he realized it's not rational. Some of them fully embrace the absurdity. Some of them fully embrace the absurdity. Means they accept it's fine for them, no problem. They say, yeah, nah, we can't know. They say God can do anything you want to do, and we don't know what. We can't even understand. So what do you say? Say to him, use your mind though, according to what you can understand. If you do use the mind that you were given, don't you realize that you can never put one and three together in a way that makes them the same thing? They say, yeah, no, I know, but this was in my book, for example. So they just accept that. Subhanallah. One time when I was young, there was a guy who was a deacon. He used to talk to me sometimes. I wasn't Muslim yet. And he used to try to convince me, I think he's a Catholic. Maybe deacons are Catholics anyway. So he used to try to talk to me and convince me, to be a Christian and whatnot. So one time he gave me a challenge. He said to me, you tell me, give me one good reason why you shouldn't worship Jesus. To be honest with you, I didn't really, really know what to say at the moment. And I just thought a little bit, and the best thing I could say to him was, well, he's a man. So what he said, he didn't say anything. He just went silent. Like, I didn't even know that was going to work. I thought he was going to come back. Some of them said that this mixture is similar to the soul and the body. But the soul is a body itself. The soul. It's a body itself, and it is distinguishable from the dense body, the flesh, as known by the fact that the angel of death removes the soul completely from the body at the appointed death time. So there are two different things. The soul is just different density. The soul is very, very, very light, like light itself, like air, very subtle. So it can mix with the flesh. The flesh is dense, tangible. When it's time for you to die, the angel will pull your soul out. So according to some of them, they say Trinity is like that, like how the soul and the body are merged. No matter what, it's always going to be a poor example. Some of them said that this mixture is similar to the soul and the body. Okay, if they claim that the human quality died, but the eternal attribute of Allah did not, then they are confirming that they are different matters. And had the mixture that they claimed been an intellectual necessity, then Allah would have been attributed with it eternally, which would imply that the body of Jesus would be eternal. And some of them, they say, yeah, no, Jesus, he is eternal. He was always existing. They say to them, what? But I thought he has a mother. Doesn't he have a mother? Then they're going to say something. So what is it? What is it that why some people don't want to embrace Islam? It's not the soundness of the creed. Our creed is very sound. It's completely sound. But just because they don't want to have to do something or not be able to do what they want to do, because there's things they want to do, so then they're just going to do them, or things they don't want to do, so they're not going to commit to them. That's why. But soundness of creed is there, and the benefit for the human beings is there too. In fact, do you know what some people do to discourage people from being Muslims? They let them do whatever they want to do. If they want you to not be a Muslim, they'll tell you, here, drink, here, smoke, here, do. No, wear less clothes. They will corrupt them so that they won't be Muslims. That's how to get them to not be Muslims. So, let me finish this footnote here. So, had the mixture that they claimed been an intellectual necessity, then Allah would have been attributed with it eternally, which would imply that the body of Jesus is eternal, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which is not the case even by their own claims, since they confirmed that he was born. But when you tell them, it wasn't Jesus born, they're going to say, yeah, he was. Just his flesh was born, but he was always existing. So that's not the religion. That's not the real religion, the true religion. Because it's not sound. If they claim that this unification is not a necessity and that rather it is just a possibility, then this would imply that Allah was created and specified by someone, which is impossible. It is strange that after knowing that Christians believe in the godhood of three individuals, and furthermore they believe in the merger of God and man, that some people still consider them monotheists. Yeah, that is interesting because in the grade schools when they or any schools when they teach you about religion, they say there's different kinds of religion. There's monotheistic religion and there's polytheistic religion. And they say monotheistic religion, there's three of them. They say there's Islam and Judaism and Christianity. And polytheistic religion, there's many of them. And then they'll give you examples. Christianity is not monotheistic religion because they believe in a Trinity. And the Catholics, they worship statues actually. They have these statues, they put them and they pray to them. And also, what do the Catholics do? The Catholics believe that their fathers, like priest, father here means priest, that their fathers can forgive their sins. So they would go and they would say, "Forgive me, Father, I have sinned." And then that father, the Baba, any Pope or the like of him, he would tell him, "You go say Hail Mary 100 times. May you be forgiven. You are forgiven. I forgive you, my child." This is blasphemy. And that's shirk too. That's shirk. This footnote here on Christianity, I want to look at this again. I don't like it. It's not smooth and looks like it's also wobbly. Looks wobbly to me. I'll go back through this footnote, inshallah ta'ala, and see what I'm going to do with it. What we're going to keep here. The Christians believe that Allah is something that exists by himself while at the same time being made of three individual selves. That three different matters form the reality of one God that exists by himself without being created by someone. They call this belief the Trinity. In Arabic, it is called tathlith. Allah said, قَالُوا إِنَّ اللَّهَ ثَالِثُ ثَلَاثَةٍ. They said, God is certainly the third of three. Some of them say that this Trinity is like water, ice, and steam, that they are three while being one at the same time. It is impossible that three different matters would be a single self. If the water freezes, it would not be vapor, nor would it be liquid. If the ice melted, it would not be solid anymore, nor would it be vapor. If the steam liquefied, it would not be vapor anymore, nor would it be solid. Hence, it is impossible that these three could all be the same thing at the same time. Yes. The Christians also believe that Allah has merged with man. What they understand from this merger is that one thing became the other, that the eternal attribute of Allah became the created body of Jesus, and vice versa. Some of them said that this unity is similar to the light that radiates from the sun. Yani, how can you compare the unity of two things to two things that are separating? You have the sun, you have the light of the sun. The light of the sun departs the sun, moves away from the sun. So how they are similar, that's a bad example. They say that just as the light of the sun reaches us without the sun going away or losing its ability to shine, the eternal attribute of Allah has merged with the body of Jesus without either of them losing their own reality. This is invalid because the light of the sun separates from the sun. This is far from the unification of which they speak. Some of them said that this mixture is similar to the soul and the body. But the soul is a body itself, and it is distinguishable from the dense body, as is known by the fact that the angel of death removes the soul completely from the body at the appointed time of death. If they claim that the human quality died, but the eternal attribute of Allah did not, then they are confirming that they are two different matters. Had the mixture they claimed been an intellectual necessity, then Allah would have been attributed with it eternally, which would imply that the body of Jesus is eternal, which is not the case, since they confirmed that he was born. If they claim that this unification is not a necessity, it's not necessary, it's only possible, then this would mean that Allah was created and specified by someone, which is impossible. Yeah. All right. Footnotes okay, inshallah. It is strange that after knowing that Christians believe in the godhood of three individuals, and furthermore believe in the merger of God and man, that some people still consider them monotheists. They are, by definition, mushriks, not monotheists. Okay. It's the top of the hour here. Do you have any question I can answer for you?
Okay.
Yes.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Sheikh, may you reread just the first three sentences?
Yes. So, of the footnote you mean here. It says, the Christians believe that Allah is something that exists by himself, while at the same time being made of three individual selves. That three different matters form the reality of one God that exists by himself without being created by someone. They call this belief the Trinity. In Arabic, it is called Tathlith. Allah said, قَالُوا إِنَّ اللَّهَ ثَالِثُ ثَلَاثَةٍ. They said, Allah is certainly the third of three. Is that what you were looking for?
Yeah, Sheikh. Barakallah feek.
Okay, Amin wa fikum.
I need to go over it like a few times just to, assimilate the whole information.
MashaAllah. Wa subhanallahi wa bihamdi.